Well, Beneil, man, I didn't get a chance to speak to you after your fight last week, so I wanted to get caught up with you, man. It's about a week removed from that incredible fight. And first of all, I just got to ask you, you told me before, you said, look, I'm not a bonus machine. That's not yeah. Then what do? You go out there and have this crazy bonus machine type war, man.
I was looking for you after the fight. I was like, I got to tell John, man, what the heck? I wasn't trying to do that. I'm telling you, John, you got to believe me. I'm not a liar, man. I'm not trying to chase bonuses, but I don't know what it was. We got in there, and I was looking to fight kind of similar to that I did with Holtzman. Pick my shots, look for the takedowns when the time came, and kind of look to hold them down. But, we had a couple of exchanges, and then I got a takedown on him. And as soon as I got the takedown on him, he was so hard to hold down. He was so difficult to hold down. It just turned it into a scramble, and he got up. And, I watched video on him. Normally, as soon as someone takes him down, he scrambles and gets back up. First thing he does is he walks you down and he starts throwing punches. And I said, man, if I let him walk me down here, I'm going to give up the fight. So what did I do? I jumped in there and made sure I walk him down and get more takedowns. So that was one of the reasons why I did that, but that led it into being just a scrap, man. I watched the fight again. I was like, oh my gosh, that was really fun to watch. And I don't normally feel like that about all my fights.
It was a fun fight to watch, man. There's no question about it. I think we knew you didn't have a choice. We knew it was going to be a fight of the night, man. It was unbelievable. But let me ask you, how do you feel, now that you have watched it back especially, how do you feel like you performed, right? Because it's clear that he tested you. You know what I mean? It had to be a difficult fight, but, I thought you responded well, but I'm sure there's some things you wish you did better. So overall, kind of evaluate yourself. How did you feel about that one?
I'd give it a 7 because it lacked technique and strategy that I was hoping to implement. So it lacked that. What I was happy about was my conditioning because I made sure to push so hard the first 2 rounds. And when the third round came, I could have done it again. And I remember my coaches being like, chill out, dude. Pull back. I mean, he said, Master Rafael was telling me to pull back for 10 minutes straight. If you include the breaks in between rounds, 12 minutes straight. He's like, Benny, calm down. Like, you watch the fight, and it's basically him telling me, calm down. Don't run against them. Calm down. So it took me about 12 minutes to listen, and some people are like, oh, you look kind of tired in the third. I mean, I'm not as fresh as the first round for sure, but I wasn't tired. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't keep going. I remember thinking in the third round, I can actually do this all day. We can go all day if we have to. So I was really happy with my conditioning. I didn't like my strategy and technique, but it was a scrap. I enjoyed the fact that I grew so much during that fight.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, you don't want to put your body on the line too much, but that's the entertainment that we like to see. What about the wife? Did she have any feedback on the technique, the strategy?
Man, you would not believe she gave me multiple talks. Master Rafael gave me like one talk. We had like a 5-minute talk. She's still dragging it out. Every time somebody mentions the fight, she'll be like, yeah, can you believe that? Can you believe you didn't do ABC? She's like, what happened to this and that? You've seen her hold mitts. She has good skills holding mitts. And she has a good understanding of striking. And so she was like, what happened to all the stuff you worked on? Why didn't you, you did like a 10th of the stuff you worked on? And she's right. But at the same time, it's a fight. You don't always get to go the way you want it to, Mike Tyson, like Mike Tyson said it, everybody's got a game plan until they get hit. When I get hit, it just turns into a mess. And that's how it seems like I'm getting better at least fighting inside the mess.
Yeah, no question. All right, so here's what I got to ask you, and I want to ask you, I did see your post-fight interview with the media. Immediately afterward, like when on the ESPN broadcast, of course, you kind of went off on the matchmakers a little bit, and then you came back to the press tent and you walked it back a little bit, and you said, "Hey, I don't think I clarified that the proper way. I don't think I, said it the way." But I wonder, I mean, was there some truth in that moment? What on ESPN, was there a little bit of truth in there? I know that, as I always say, you're one of the nicest guys, one of the most humble guys, but even nice guys get frustrated sometimes, right?
So the thing is frustration. And as far as truth there, I mean, Sean tried to match me up with not Ferguson, what's his name? Oliveira. So Sean's been trying. He tried to match me up with Oliveira. And then when I couldn't do Oliveira, he got me the only person who would say yes, and that was Carlos. So, like, there's only so much Sean can do. I don't know what else the man can do. So he did his job. Like he went out there. He presented me to all these guys in the top 5 and top 10, and all these guys were like, "No, I'm good." And so I got Carlos, and I get it for Carlos. It's a chance to redeem himself from a loss that he had previously, and he's just a dog, man. He doesn't seem to say no to anybody. He fought two of those scary one Dagestani, one Chechnyan guys like nobody wants to fight with. All the Russian guys. He jumped in and fought both of them, no problem.
Yeah, I like the way you said after the fight that he deserves a big fight next too, man. He really does. He's so talented and underappreciated.
Yeah, like I thought I was going to break him for sure. I thought, I've improved so much. I thought my wrestling's gotten so much better. I thought to myself, I know his jiu-jitsu is good. And, now that I look at it, if I look at it objectively, I'd say his jiu-jitsu is better than mine. But I thought, in the scrambles, I would overwhelm him with the wrestling and then my striking would take over and he would just get gassed. And it didn't. That didn't happen with him. He never gassed. He never gave up. He stayed in the fight the whole time. I thought I won the fight clearly, but it's incredible how he's able to do that. I didn't think there was too many people out there who could do that with me.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, so this is the thing I love about covering your guys' careers, right? Is that like I feel like each fight week is like a chapter in your life. You know what I mean? Like the build up to it and what happens afterwards. And I kind of wonder, now that you've had a little bit of time to reflect, how this chapter in your life you'll remember it, man, because it was like a really emotional fight week for you, right? You openly, broke down in tears when you got the comeback of the year award, and you shared that touching story, and then man, I know you were fighting back tears a little bit post fight as well in the media tent. So it was clear this was like an emotional week for you. So how will this one live in your memory?
So the strange thing about this chapter is. Normally if I lose a fight, I'll go back and I'll cry and I'll just be miserable for a while. But this fight, I was crying even before the fight. It wasn't even fight day, and I don't know. The day of the fight, I didn't feel like the anxiety. I still felt some, but not the pressure I normally feel. Normally I feel so much pressure on my shoulders the day of the fight, and I didn't have that this time, and it was a nice feeling, to be honest with you. Normally the day of the fight, my body's on fire, and I just sit there and I just wait till they call me to go out into my bus, and then once they call me into the room, I'll do my drug test, and I'll just sit there and I'll just wait. I literally I barely speak. It's just sitting in anxiety until it's time to warm up. Once I warm up, it's all gone and I'm good to go. But this time I didn't have that. I was talking, I was keeping conversations. So honestly, I could use more weeks like this. I could use more chapters like this.
That's awesome. So the bonus money that you weren't chasing, obviously, but clearly got. I know you've got a charity that you support. You've got a community project that you work on, but I also know baby's going to need some diapers. You're probably, building out that nursery right now too. So what's the plans for the extra $50K?
I don't really have a specific plan for the extra money, but I'm going back to Haiti in March. Well, we got to figure out actually COVID stuff right now. I think the laws are changing, but we're looking to go back early March. So I need to go out there early March, and I can't stay long because I want to fight in April or May. So I want to go early March. I want to get everything figured out with the foundation there, make sure the kids are good. And I know they are because I keep in contact with the team there. But I also want to see what my next steps are. We have one school there and we have one orphanage in the foundation. And I want to see where I can add to that. So, ideally, I would like to add more schools. I think it would be great if I could add more schools there, but it's not that simple. Money is not, you would think money would be the most important thing. It's not. People are the most important thing. Finding the right people and finding the right people at the right time is very difficult. So I've been praying God will provide the right people at the right time for this. So that's the next step, is finding the right people to make sure everything goes forward the right way. And that's the game plan right now.
That's awesome. You said April, May, obviously, because the baby's due in June, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you talked to the matchmakers yet? Did they give you? I mean, did you let them know that was what you're planning, or did you just leave that up to Ali to handle? What's the process?
I told Ollie, and Ollie's like, yeah, you know what? I think that's doable. So I haven't really talked to Sean about it, but you know what? Actually, it's not a bad idea. Maybe I should give Sean a call and see what he thinks. He might not be that happy with me, like because of how emotional I was, but you know, it's not his fault. He's right. I shouldn't blame him. Like, what can you do? If the guy says no, the guy says no. Like, Sean can only do so much. So, but I'll give him a call and talk to him and see what's going on.
I'm sure he doesn't hold a grudge too bad. I'm sure he's all right. So
no.
Let me ask you, what do you think, right? Because it's the lightweight division has been such this point of discussion right now. It's kind of I don't want to say it's a mess, because it's like a good problem to have. There's a whole bunch of talented fighters. You know, it's just how do you want to pair them up and that sort of thing. So what do you think? I know you're not the call-out guy. I know that's what you see. I'm not chasing after anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. But do you look at the rankings and see a fight that just makes sense or that would be exciting for you, whether it be stylistically?
I think Charles, Chandler, and Tony, those three guys make the most sense for me. I'll take any one of those three guys. I think that makes sense for me. I don't care which one. Those guys make sense for me as far as rankings go and everything. And here's the thing about this division. As soon as I become champ, I'm going to clean this place out. I'm going to clean it out so fast that we're not going to have this problem anymore in this division. And I'm going to make it real clear. People are going to be like, oh, dang, we need some new blood in here.
Yeah. Boy, I think about all three of those fights on paper, and I think, boring, no chasing bonuses, no fight of the night there, huh? Those all three of those would be fights of the night.
They would be awesome. And I would have to fight. I would have to be more technical and strategic for sure. But you know, at the end of the day, there is. I'm a bit of a dog, so if we let it be, it's going to be a dog fight too, and it's fine with me.
That's awesome. I guess the plan for you, right, would be let's try to get one more in, and then what do you want? You want to take off the rest of the year? I mean, obviously, as a father, man, I know how important those first months are. So, what do you think? November,
December, because even let's say I'm spending every day, when I have my baby every day with her, I'm gonna be training. You know, I can't. I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't train. You don't understand. My toe is messed up right now. I got a big cut on it, so I can't really train. I'm losing my mind, and it's only been 3 days since the fight. I need to get back into the gym ASAP, man. Today I went over some wrestling drills, and I was like, dude, I want to drill at this stupid foot. So I can't. I'll have my daughter near, but I'll be training for sure. But I would like to fight November, December after that. God willing, man. I'm making a lot of plans, but God willing, they click.
I love what you said. When I become champion, I'm going to clean this place out. So what's it going to take? What do you think the path is to get there for you to be lightweight champion?
It's going to take for one of these guys to say yes, whether it's Oliveira, Chandler, or Ferguson. It's one of them to say yes, and then I'll fight one of them, and then I think I'll be a #1 contender. I'll fight whoever's the champion, and then we'll go from there.
Fantastic. Well, Beneil, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll let you enjoy the time at home, relax, heal up a little bit. But didn't get to speak with you afterwards. You know, I always like doing it.
Yeah, man.
You knew it was going to be fight of the night. You knew it was going to be fight of the night.
When I started walking back, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what a fight! What a fight!" They're so. I was like, "Oh really?" I didn't, because when I was thinking more about the decision, the split decision. Like I'm walking back, I was like, "Man, the fight was that close, huh?" I thought I really had it in the bag, blah, 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 blah. Like that was going in my head. And then every single person I saw from the UFC, they're like, what a fight. You guys were awesome. And not just me. They're like, Diego, you guys were awesome. You guys put on a show. And I'm like, huh. And then, finally, after like 5 people said it, it started to click. I was like, oh man, maybe there is a fight of the night or one of those bonuses. And I've never had fight of the night before. This is a first for me. 19 fights in the UFC. I've always gotten performance bonuses, but I've never had a fight of the night. And it's cool. It really is cool. It's a cool part of my history. The first memory I have of my father is I think I got beat up. I must have been like 3 or 4 years old. I must have got beat up by somebody in and like, playing with the kids. The first
Okay.
memory.
Like, where'd you grow up? You're getting beat up at 4 years old.
I mean, I grew up in Iran, and like, I don't remember exactly what happened. I was really young, but I remember the first memory of my father I have. The earliest memory I have of my father is him saying, "Hey, if you get in a fight, whatever it takes, you get out of there." He didn't say win, but you get it done, basically. And he said to me, "You need to pick up a rock, you pick up a rock. You need to pick up a stick, you pick up a stick." And that's terrible parenting advice. I'll tell you right now, that's terrible parenting advice. But here's the crazy thing: worse than him is the kid. As a kid, I looked at my dad and I said, "That's genius. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard." I was like, if I do that, I wouldn't have had this problem here. I wouldn't be crying here in front of my mom and then my dad having this conversation with me. If I just stepped up and did what I needed to do. And, I think that's really carried through with me. I've been one of those guys who's like, breaking things has always been easier than building things. Obviously, by God's grace, things have changed a lot in my life. I'm able to build things. I always say in the abundance of grace, I went from being a savage to a servant. So, but that savage part never changes. It's still here. It's still down there. And sometimes there's a need for it. And fighting seems to be that time. And if I fight guys like Tony, if I fight guys like Chandler or Oliveira, you're going to see that part come out.
That's awesome. Hey, street rules are a little bit different, but I like the character it builds, right? You got to be a dog in there, man. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go so you can get on the phone with Sean Shelby. Get on the phone with Sean Shelby. Get this thing booked.
I will.
And we'll see you in March or April.
Sounds good, brother. Take care.